So here we have the Behringer Crave. This is a device that Behringer put out. It's supposed to be an analog synth with kind of a beginner learning curve here. It's got all of the basic things that your typical analog synth would have. You got filter cutoff, mix, different pulse width, different frequencies. If you haven't used an analog synth, it's a really good beginner synth. This thing actually has a lot of like beginner-friendly tutorials and stuff out there today that you can go ahead and look at to really, dial in that analog synth lifestyle if you want to live that. Quite honestly, I have never. This is my first analog synth. I have the Neutron as well, and it is what it is, right? When you come from a digital land, everything's easy and crispy, and everything sounds really, really good. This takes a little bit more time to get dialed in. Once you get dialed in, it definitely has its place. There's not much that sounds like this, and it's really it is a one-trick pony, I guess I could call it that. It has a very specific sound, and if you're looking for that sound, you really can do a lot with it. So personally, I use it for a lot for EDM, kind of trance, techno-y kind of stuff. You can do it for house and whatnot. Overall, it's pretty versatile. It's a pretty small package. This thing is a couple pounds, tiny little thing, throw it in your backpack. It's not super expensive either, so you're not looking at spending a ton of money on a really nice analog synth and throwing it in your backpack. This thing's a little bit cheaper, so it's nice to be able to have all this in one compact package here. So plenty of tutorials out there going over the sounds and stuff you can make with it, and what all the knobs do and everything. I'm trying to focus mainly on what are things that you would buy in conjunction with this to make this a really good user experience, as well as what are you going to do, what's the micro Korg experience, for lack of better terms, for those indie producers out there. So I don't know much about playing that with analog stuff. What do you do in terms of I just got this thing, I want to play with it, right? So I do have Deluge over here. You don't need a Deluge for this. This is just purely for ease of use for this demo. But the Deluge does have some nice things that, if you do buy it, that definitely makes this whole experience a lot better. Same over here, I have a Korg NTS1. This little guy, I highly recommend everybody pick up one of these. So this is a tiny little all-in-one synth box, and it really has it basically runs the XD engine, so the mini log or log series engines, especially the ones coming off of mini logs XD, and it runs all of the effects on here that has an audio in and audio out on the bottom. So what I like to do is, because there are no built-in effects on here, you can run the effects through this, making this Crave sound a lot more open and a little bit more, spacey, a little bit more, newer sounding than it did with just bass sounds. So with that, I'm going to kick off a drum beat here, and we'll just kind of play with this. I have a couple MIDI channels plugged into the Deluge, so we'll show you kind of what you would do if you get it. This is by no means a full comprehensive tutorial, so I'm just going to kind of show you what this thing can do, what it sounds like, and then I'm going to run some stuff through the what's this called, the NTS1, and I'll show you guys what kind of sounds you can get from that. Pretty diverse from the NTS1 here. So let's kick it off. And this is with almost no, this is nothing on the NTS1, so I'm going to crank in some chorus here. And you can hear pretty much that instant gain coming from the chorus there. A little bit more. Doing some drums. thing now, so you'll hear it here. You get some kind of bell sounds out of it if you really want to do that. You crank it all the way back down, it goes back down to this. Yes, stuff on here. Alright, so that's the, that's bass. There's no patches or anything plugged in here to really, edit the sound from the patch panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually patch in real quick here. It's a great website called patch-library.net that has a whole bunch of really nice patches that the community has made over the years here, and it sounds pretty good, a lot of these. Kind of got to filter through some of them, but I'm going to make a quick bass sound here and dial in these knobs as well as grab there they are, some patch cables. So I'm going to go into the cutoff and into the VC mix, and then I'm going to go into the VC mix and to the alpha triangle. Then we're going to do external audio into oscillator pulse. And dial in some of these parameters a little bit. Them all good. And let's see, that goes there, volume full here. That goes there. Hear that there? Alright, so what we're going to do now, I'm just going to live play this. I don't really want to record any more MIDI in here, so let's see what this comes off to here. 1 second. Okay, it's a beat. So yeah, that's pretty much the Behringer Crave in a nutshell. That's going to be about the sound that you get out of all of it. It's a pretty buzzy, it's kind of an acid bassy kind of sound if you really drive up that reverb. But that's pretty much it, guys. Not much else on this little device here. If you guys want me to do a full comprehensive review, I will. But really not much to it. Pretty beginner, pretty basic. There's a lot of info out there already. I'm going to probably be doing one on the NTS-1 coming up soon, as well as the Deluge and some of the other gear that I have here. So stay tuned for that, and talk to you guys later.